I've always found the queen endgames to be really interesting. It's not just because when there are queens, there are a lot of tactics, but also because there are so many hidden ideas. Like, typically for the situation that we have now on the board, we've got a very practical queen's endgame in which white has a pawn up, but the main question to be asked really is, okay, he's a pawn up, that's a good thing, and yet, what is the possibility for black to save? And this is a very interesting, very important question right here, because, okay, naturally, or most naturally, black can go back and defend, but that wouldn't help. So, what we really need to find is there anything good? I find that there are not too many great moves here. Obviously, if we want to play active, we gotta go for a move like h5. Now, certainly white can't go back because then you lose his advantage. He's got to take that pawn. We take his own. And now, of course, perhaps white should have played queen a7, but he found it too risky, and he played queen f3, which was a mistake. So the question is, at this point, what's black supposed to do? He certainly made some complications this far, but what is the follow-up here? We suddenly realize that black has to do king g8, and white can't stop the win. The truth of the matter is that when the king really reaches down to g8, white can play queen b7, but then black can play with f takes g, and king h7. H takes g is naturally impossible because of queen h3 and queen to h7 checkmate. And when he plays with f takes g and king h7, he is in a Zugzwang position. It's quite amazing. He has his queen that can make so many moves, and yet every single one of them loses. If the queen goes away to cover f3 for anywhere in that diagonal, he's going to have to miss the g7 pin, which means that black will give a checkmate through g6. If the queen keeps the g pawn, the checkmate is delivered through f3. So ultimately, white has no other useful moves to make besides a3, which will certainly lose because black will take the pawn. Or he can move the queen, that will leave one of the two actual checkmating squares. So the solution here is really found when we ask ourselves, what do I need to do in order to achieve certain thing? Naturally, we like to checkmate the king, and we can't do that because of the king moving out. If we stop this, then certainly the checkmate works. Beautiful solution with king g8.